It's a great day here at Will to Win's YouTube channel. I am a host here, Keck Filet, aka Sage, and always with me is William Craddock.
You're the co-host, sir.
Thank you. Last time you called me the host. So, okay. Now I'm back.
Today.
Now he's feeling fancy today. Okay. Co-host, host, combo. That's super legit. With that, today we have a video about 3v3 and the 3v3 meta. Will recently did a 3v3 last weekend. He went 5-1 his whole team.
6-1.
6-1. Oh, I didn't know that. 6-1 his whole team. They went to Mexico with both DD and Impact, Josh Graham. And good results there. I think you get 5th place for that, right?
Top 6 is like decent pricing, so that's where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Top 2 is where you get the pricing where it's among serialized Luffy. And I didn't tell you this until right now, but the number 69 card was pulled there at that event.
I'd ask for 6,900 just to.
You think so?
Yeah, you could get that.
Yeah, well, no, the guy pulled the serial card 69. So
should have tried to win harder.
Yeah, things happen. What can you do, right? So there can only be 6 serial Luffys at that event, I suppose. But with that, I do want to just jump into a lot of the rules, and maybe Will can talk about like kind of a meta for OP04 with this. But I guess we'll just go over the rules first, and then we can go your thoughts over, I guess, every kind of point with that. So I do want to say, at any card game, you should try to have fun. That's going to be the main thing of it. Obviously, Will has this thing where it is extremely competitive with that insane pricing. I think 3v3 is a fun event, but it's for keepsies.
I think it's more competitive than Heads Up.
Yeah, I think so too, actually. But to keep myself sane with me losing, and like, oh no, it's a fun event. So that's.
It's like you're playing best of 3, but you're still only playing best of 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just eliminates variance, and that's why I think it's just a great format. Like, I love 3v3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are some challenges with 3v3, and sometimes having 2 friends that are also pretty reliable is one of those challenges. So that's like a small barrier. Actually, I think it's a big barrier of entry when it comes to 3v3. So,
like, you could find a team, but can you find a reliable team?
Mm-hmm.
But before we get started, I would like to mention a few things specifically about Mexico.
Okay.
Which I'm going to say this right now. The TOs in Mexico below anyone, like play TCG, PPG, any of them, right out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was easily the best run event I had ever been to. And it wasn't for any other reason other than it seemed like they cared more. Like, people were done. They got them out of the area. So they made sure like the results were reported. There were people walking around when a match finished, and they're like, "Are you done? Report your results," before anyone could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was constantly roaming judges and TOs making sure the tournament went quickly.
Okay.
On top of which, it was decorated. Like, the whole hall had like banners for One Piece, and there's like One Piece videos and music. Like, I just loved everything about it. Like, Mexico was easily the most fun I've had at a tournament.
Great. I mean, that's great. If there's an event in Mexico, go there. They have good TOs there. I don't know who's cooking that up, but
it's the best TO. It's
the best TO.
It's the best TO I've ever had in any event in my like 23 years of playing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it was insane.
You guys played 7 rounds. Was it always? Did it even ever go to time? Realistically,
we were done at like 4:30. We got our pricing at like 4:30, and it started at 9.
Starting at 9, ending at 4:30, 7 rounds.
Yeah,
that's great.
We got our pricing at 4:30.
Oh,
we got our pricing, so it already finished, and they were handing out our pricing. We were top 6. We were the last one to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was incredible.
Great. Yeah. Did they have they didn't have like a lunch break, right?
There was a 30-minute break whenever the website crashed.
Okay.
And that was it. Like, it actually came back up in 10 minutes, but they're like, all right, 30-minute break, website crashed. You know, go do what you got to do.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. No actual break, just technical difficulties.
No actual break, just technical difficulties. Okay. That So that's a really good thing to hear about that, To. And obviously, if you have judges just walking around each table before they even stand up,
Yeah.
that makes it
They,
really easy.
yeah, they were like, "Hey, are you finished? Are you finished? Report your results." And if you were done, you couldn't actually sit in the tournament area.
Mm-hmm.
They made you leave, so they know
Mm.
who's actually still playing and who isn't.
Okay. That's always an awkward thing. I always like staying there so I can watch a match that's really close.
Yeah, they're like, "Nope." Yeah, I mean, obviously, if your teammate's still playing, you could stay, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if your team is done, yeah, they're like, "Get out, go stand in different part of the venue."
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay. Got it. And okay, cool.
I have one more interesting side note, and
Okay.
this has been unique to Mexico. I've experienced it anywhere else. When you play the tournament there, they make you keep your cards how it is on like the starter mat in one piece,
Okay.
right? So normally me, I keep my life and my deck on my left side, right? But that's not how it is on the starter mat. The starter mat, your deck's on the right side, your
Yeah.
gon's on the left side. Like they make you play according to that. Like everybody has to
Mm-hmm.
play according to that, unless you're left-handed, which I guess I should have lied, but I didn't really think of it.
But no, but you say you keep your deck and your life on your left side of your.
Yes, so I draw
That's
with my
so
left hand, and
confusing.
that's just how I play. Like my life is on, and then my dawn is on my right, and then
Yeah.
obviously I keep, like, and that's just different than what most people do. You
Yes.
actually can't do that at their event. Like
You
you
can't.
have to do it according. You
Yeah.
can. It's up to the TO. It's
Mm-hmm.
honestly because I've never had trouble at any event except when I was on camera. Because on
Mm-hmm.
camera, PPG is like, yeah, play according to the play mat.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, I keep my deck and my life on the left hand
Right.
side, like
Dang it.
normally.
Well, every time you tell me that, it's always something frustrating. I'm like, oh, you shuffle your cards like a Pokemon player, and you draw your cards off of this side, and your life's over there. It just.
Oh yeah, so many people talk about how like I riffle shuffle my cards. Like,
Mhm.
Ollie, why does that tilt you? Is that what you're supposed
It
to
tilts
do?
everybody. That literally will tilt
But
everybody.
why? That's what you're supposed to do.
No, you're not. You're supposed to apply, like kind of shuffle them like a normal person.
I love the bird
It
shuffle my
it
cards.
damages the cards. That's why. But
No,
okay. Um.
my cards are fine.
All right. Just to stop
All right,
this video from being like a 45-minute video, let's go into some of the rules. I
all right.
guess for most tournaments, you have to use different leaders, right?
Yes, I think that's Bandai standard.
Bandai standard. I have heard of some local ones where they maybe like card lock it. You can only use up to 4 of each card between everybody.
Yes, which I think that should be the standard personally.
That'd be really interesting because if you can only play 4 Zoros, Rush Zoros entirely, right? So you'd have to,
Right.
you may have to
Or if a
mix match
card's
that.
like restricted, you can only have one rad beam between your whole team.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds fine too. So that's an idea that you can kick around. That would probably kick up some interesting play or interesting deck builds. So,
Or personally, for me, I just make it so you can't share a color between your 3 leaders because that would just diversify it even further.
That would be crazy because you couldn't even let's say you played Law, you couldn't play red or green, right? So
But Law is like a tier 1 deck, so like it just eliminates you being able to play Law and Whitebeard and Zoro, right? Like,
yeah.
because you could theoretically do that right now, which I don't think is diverse. Like it's not fun.
Yeah.
I would color lock it if I had the choice.
Yeah.
I think there's enough cards right now to do that.
I think that's a pretty good idea to make the game more accessible like that or more diverse. So forcing diversity, I suppose. So kind of, and then are you assigned or do you pick who your A, B, and C person is?
So there you picked who your A, B, and C was. Your captain was always seat B. So if you're a captain, you had to sit in the middle.
Okay.
And then then you assign your A and your C player.
Okay, got it. Are you allowed to like help your teammates in the middle of a game?
You can communicate with your teammates. The only thing I would say that makes it difficult for me is whenever your teammate may ask you like, hey, what do I do here, and you're in the middle of a game, you don't necessarily know what's been happening up until that point, right? Like they may be in the end game, they're like, hey, what do I do here, but you don't have half the information that went on. And I found this out quickly that One Piece is, for me, is a game where like really how you play echoes off the earlier turns. Like you've learned how your opponent plays the game and what cards they've used, and it's really hard just to look over and be like, yeah, you should do this. So you can communicate, but I think for the most part, 3v3 should be just played with someone you really trust, and they can ask you a question like maybe like a difficult situation, like a really hard like coin flip type situation. But for the most part, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes our teammates, like our opponents, would rely on each other too much, and I think it
Mm-hmm.
distracted them from the game they were playing, and it
Mm-hmm.
caused them to kind of mess up.
Oh, okay, got it. I feel maybe like a mulligan is a good area to start,
Yeah.
but after that, yeah, leaving the game to where it should be will probably be fine. Especially if all your players are good, they're usually not going to need that much advice or even want advice. Like, would you want? I mean, I guess they would give you some advice if they see it, but did you ever ask for advice? Really?
I never asked because my role since I was captain, I was in the middle, and I was
Mm-hmm.
playing Katakuri. I was just trying to finish my matches quickly, so then I could really be involved with my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like my goal was just to basically crush my opponent as fast as possible, so I could just be involved in the other games.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. And then the other last thing is to win a game, two of your three teammates have to win. That's pretty simple as
Yeah.
far as that goes. So yeah, what are some tips you would say for people to? I guess going into the format we know now, right? What would you tell them right now?
I would just say just play the decks with the good matchup spread. I don't like the decks that have very polarizing matchups. In our actual first round, we were really worried because I got paired against Whitebeard as Katakuri,
Mm-hmm.
and our Law got paired against Rebecca. So we're like, these are two pretty bad matchups. But I think after the tournament, I beat two Whitebeards on Zoro, so I think the spread wasn't as bad as I thought it was in those
Mm-hmm.
matchups. Like me personally, so I would just say, yeah, just play decks that have more
Mm-hmm.
50-50 matchups are closer to 50-50 rather than a
Mm-hmm.
deck that has really good like specific matchups but gets crushed hard in other
Yeah.
areas.
I, I do want to say because of this whole captain in the middle and they're able to help out and they're incentivized to win or lose the game fast or play the game faster and then help
Mhm.
out. Essentially, you may be facing decks that are just fast, like Zoro or Whitebeard. So it may be a meta to put your B person as the person who's good against facing those specific decks, even slowing them down or just playing fast in matching that.
There is a little caveat to that because on the flip of the coin, sometimes people tend to put the slowest deck in the middle, so the sides finish first, and they can both help the middle close out their game. So there's like give and take to it. I think for the most part, I would just play people I trust
Mm-hmm.
that only really need me in maybe a super tough spot.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Would be how I
I
approach
guess I don't want to think about it too much, but I think most teams would say let's just put the fastest deck in the middle, which is probably more accurate. So you actually have knowledge of what your opponent's probably going to play in the B. So maybe playing something that's good against Whitebeard or Whitebeard in the middle is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, just you want to put the deck like we put Katakuri in the middle just because
Is you?
I had to play Katakuri. like
Could you have just
I
not
was
been the captain? Like, did you make DD the captain?
we could have made D the captain. I think it worked out really well where I was at because I just basically for the tournament I played the Whitebeard versus Kata like 200 times, and I'm like, okay, I know how to beat Whitebeard now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was actually kind of fun, like
Mm-hmm.
playing against Whitebeard because everything I learned from playtesting I executed.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Has anything changed from your last video from Katakuri as well?
the list has changed.
Okay.
It's more so just matchup knowledge has changed
Okay.
and like
Okay.
a new dynamic on how to play One Piece in general, which we'll talk about
Okay.
later. You kind of saw in the coaching earlier that I
Yeah,
talked about.
exactly. Yeah, I think we should probably update that guide a little bit. We'll put that in our Patreon and our tier 1 for our deck lists and
Yeah.
thought about that. Okay, guys. So I didn't quite know that changed, but just good things change because meta changes, right? So
Oh, absolutely.
um
Constantly evolving.
so great. Okay, got it. Yeah. So you're saying have a good matchup spread. Play a consistent deck. Don't play an inconsistent deck that has a 100-0 matchup. Like Rebecca
Right.
probably isn't the best choice because if you see
I think
a
Rebecca's terrible
yeah if
in
you
3v3.
yeah if you happen to see a bad matchup, you're probably going to be struggling and just lose that, right?
Yeah.
So with that, is there any recommendations as far as deck choices you would recommend for OP04 pre 4.5 right now?
Honestly, after playing Katakuri, I'm super high on Katakuri. Like I'm considering taking it to Dallas next month.
Hmm.
It's just I've learned a lot. Like post Knoxville, I have learned so much about just One Piece in general, not like specific matchup, just like I've learned
Hmm.
so many new things. So it's I'm really high on Katakuri right now.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Anything else? Like as far as I want to talk in like the big kind of five I'm thinking of is Whitebeard, Law, Blue Crocodile.
Blue Croc kind of fell down for me. I think it's like Whitebeard, Law, Zoro, Katakuri, and everyone else is kind of trails off.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I guess what how does I want to ask how does Grape Dofi's spread against any of these fair? Because I think that's a popular one people play, and that may that even that deck pushes me off of like Blue Doflamingo, right? So.
So Grape Dofi to me, Katakuri they lose pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty hard for them.
Mm-hmm.
So going into Knoxville, Law versus Grape Dofi, I didn't really know because I kind of asked the Grape Dofi players. They're like, I smush Law, and the Law players are like, I smush Grape Dofi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going off what I saw, and it seems
It's
like it's
Law.
really bad for. Yeah, it seems like Law just crushes it.
Yeah.
Like I watched a few matches. I was like, I don't know how you ever win that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Grape Doge is okay into Whitebeard. Like I think it's a coin flip for the most part.
Okay.
They have their Tim drop Don Quixotes. If they don't draw one, they probably lose.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
maybe just slightly favors Whitebeard. And I've never seen it play against Zoro, so I don't know what to tell you. My gut instincts would be it's actually too slow to beat Zoro, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I guess the only other one that's kind of a rogue here that I'm thinking of is Queen. Queen seems a little more rogue lately, but it doesn't seem to have a very good matchup spread consistently against these top like four decks.
No, I think Law runs it over. I think Katakuri runs it over. I mean, I know Katakuri runs it over from Mexico. I got to see it and I got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Whitebeard, we've kind of just figured it out. Like if you have experience as a Whitebeard player, it's pretty easy. But I don't think it's like a runaway for Whitebeard by any means.
Okay.
And I just assume Zoro just rolls it.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen this, but I just on paper I think Zoro just rolls over Queen.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen it either because it never comes up actually. But
there was a lot of Zoro in Mexico.
A lot of Zoro.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought it was gonna be really bad for Katakuri, but for me it wasn't. Like it was actually kind of coin flip, and if I hit triggers, I felt ahead most of the time. Not like insane amount of triggers, but like one or two, I felt pretty ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts about 3v3s at all, or anything going into OP04 going forward?
I hope there's more of it because I honestly think it's just once they decide to color lock it, it's just the most fun to me. Like it is highly competitive because it's like playing 2 out of 3, but it doesn't have the same time sink because you are just playing best of 1.
Okay.
Like I hope there's a 3v3 every month.
Yeah. Okay.
3v3 webcam. That's possible, right? Like it's very possible.
That is extremely possible. It's pretty easy to do, and they just jump in 3 channels. I think that'd be really interesting. There's not really an issue with it. It's just That is really strange.
That stops you from doing it, right? It's like it seems like logistically fairly.
That would cause the thing is that would cause a lot of diversity if it was color locked too. So that
100%.
And so that would actually affect a lot of the deck choices. So
yeah, I think it'd look good for Bandai, right? Because in Mexico there's a Kinemon on the winning team, right? That just looks great. That just looks great. You're like, oh, this game's so diverse, right? Whereas Knoxville is just like Law, Zoro,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just what the game is, right? So until OP05, I suppose, and OP04.5. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, OP04.5 is going to change so much with our red-purple Whitebeard instead of our regular red Whitebeard.
Great. And before I end this video, guys, I actually wanted to talk to everybody, and it's about our patronage and our Discord. We just did a little bit of an overhaul. We just changed the way we do coaching. We still offer coaching, but it's done through a a la carte rate. And that's done pretty well. If you had any questions, join the Discord, ask some questions if you're looking for coaching on anything, especially OP04. We're going to be doing some OP05 soon when maybe OP04.5 comes out, right?
I've already
And
been working on OP05. So.
yeah, so we're cooking over here at Will to Win Gaming, and you can always ask us any questions on there. I do want to say a big thank you to all of our patrons that do support us and also watch our little videos we have on here, on there, especially on specific matchups. And we try to do updates. It's gonna be a little harder for a lot of the less common decks like Blue Purple Kaido, but it's very competitive with the high level decks like Law, Whitebeard, Katakuri, Croc,
And I
etc.
think there's a few I want to do that are a little offbeat. Like I want to do Laker Croc. I think is what they're called. So I think that deck's not great, but I think it's spicy.
It is powerful because of how many you actually draw a lot of cards in that deck, and you'll face a Laker Croc that has like 10 cards in hand. They get a lot of card advantage somehow. So
I want to try it. That's one I want to try to kind of lab out a little bit.
Okay. Makes sense, yeah. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. Did you have any closing thoughts, Will, at all?
Yeah, y'all should check out our Patreon. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and hope to see y'all at an event soon. I think November.
Yeah.
November's
we will be in Texas. Please come say hi, come up to us. And we're not going to Pasadena, we're going to Texas in November, so about a month from now.
I might go to Pasadena.
Oh, you might go to Pasadena?
I got tickets.
You got tickets?
I got
okay.
Tickets.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you get the hotel early to save you some money. So, all right. All right, thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao.